You're listening to High Frequency Healing on the Superpower Up podcast, the show that explores the awakening of superpowers through higher dimensional healing.
Hello, this is AngelaMaría, one of the Superpower Up hosts, and you're listening to High Frequency Healing Show. The only difference between where you are to where you want to be is the actions you take here and now to heal your life. Let's take a deep breath and be here and now. I invite you to enjoy this together. So here we go. Let's welcome Diana Suarez to my show. Today we will be talking about how a conscious mind creates consciously. She is still looking for who she is. Meanwhile, she graduated as a psychologist and achieved a master's degree in Transpersonal Development. She also got certificate as Reiki Master and is also expert in constellations therapy. Worked for more than 12 years as human resources manager for multinational companies, impacting life of people in more than 12 countries in America, leading development processes, training, performance evaluation, and supporting people to find their life purpose and help them to achieve their dreams. Since Diana was a child, she believed that life was something more than what the social and cultural system tells us. So she looked for answers in religion, books, and different techniques until she experienced, by coincidence, the internal activation of Pineal Gland method. That information allowed her to remember her inner potential as creator of her life. She loves music, travels, and helping people to reconnect with their dreams and inner power and freedom to create the life they dream. Please join me to welcome this amazing woman from my country, Colombia, Diana Suarez.
Hi, hello, Angelita. It's a pleasure to be here for me. I'm really excited about this space.
Oh my God, me too. And I just love to have people, and especially women, from my country, Colombia, to be sharing their power to the world. So
it's my honor.
Thank you. Let's start asking you, what's your healing superpower?
It's a simple one, it's just realizing. That's my favorite word in the whole world. Because when you start realizing what is going on with your life, you can make decisions to change things you don't like. When you have no idea that something is going wrong, you get into troubles. So I think that the best superpower that anyone can develop, that is really easy, but no one teaches us, is to realize. Once you start getting into trouble, you have to stop, look around, and start asking yourself questions about, okay, what's going on? Why am I repeating this stuff? And then you realize what is within you that is causing what is going on outside. So realizing is my best way to get out of trouble in my life.
Oh, Diana, I love that. And I do believe that even that's not our listeners' superpower, we can develop that. We can put the intention every day when we wake up. Today, I'm just going to realize where I am, how I'm feeling, what I'm doing, just being present. And I love that, Diana. Thank you so much for sharing that superpower with us, but especially with the world.
Thanks.
Would you please take us back to your early years and name one memorable life lesson that is useful for you today?
Look, I grew up in a very, very small town. When I was a little kid, they had a formula of how life should be lived. It was like, you have to grow up, you have to go to the school and then get a job and then get a family. And I started asking myself, why do I have to do this? If I see adults so sad and burn out, why do I have to live like this if the formula is not matching with happiness? So I start asking grown-ups, okay, tell me, why do you like your life? And it was really fun because I got all kind of answers. And none of those were matching to myself. I said, okay, I don't want to live this life when I grow up. And then I decided that I wanted to make my own life, no matter what people told me. I went to the school when my parents couldn't pay for it. I decided to move to a big city in the capital of the country when I didn't know it before and I didn't know nothing about Bogota. And I just decided that life was not what people told me, but what I can build or create of my own. So it was very important for me to make that decision. That was around 15 or 16 years old, when I was 16 or 16 years old, because I wanted to suicide. I didn't understand life and I was feeling so sad, but I decided that, you know what, I can suicide. I am not strong enough to do that because that takes really, really a lot of courage. So I say, if I'm not going to do it, I have to stay here and I have to enjoy it. I am not going to be sad for the rest of my life. So I decided that I was going to enjoy my life and I was going to make a great life. And that decision changed it forever. And I'm here now because of that.
Wow, Diana. And I honor you. And I'm really thankful that you didn't get to that extreme in your life, because that, as you said it, that is you need to be very courageous and very in touch with an inner power to be able to do something like that. And I am glad you didn't do it, because right now this world really needs people like you that is willing to share your story of pain to the world, to tell them it's possible to create a different life. And I think that's the huge message that we here in Superpower Experts want to spread around the world.
And the thing is that you can really make a decision. That's the point, Angelita.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you don't have to be sad all the time. I mean, you will be, for sure, because life can be hard sometimes. But you can make a decision every time to change the results. That's the point.
Yeah, and I love that. Ajo, I love it. So, Dianita, where can people go to find out more about you?
Okay, it's a very Latin web page because it has my name on it. So it's going to be www.dianacsuarez.com. Or they can find me in something really fun that you can translate into English, but it doesn't make that beautiful sound around, and I can find a way to explain it, but it's sientemente.com. That is feel like mind feeling, if I could translate it into English, because we're used to think but not to feel. So my brand is about feeling and getting our mind to feel. So the website is sientemente.com.
And I'm going to spell it sientemente.com. That's her website.
That's it.
Thank you, Diana. So we've been talking with Diana Suarez about a conscious mind creates consciously. When we come back from this short break, we are going to talk more about her healing superpowers. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you here to change the world? Do you talk about things like vibration, frequency, awakening, and consciousness? Are you pretty sure you have superpowers? The Superpower Net is unlike normal coaching programs and conscious communities. We provide training, intuitive guidance, peer-to-peer learning, intensive one-on-one coaching, and a high vibrational network of people just like you. When you join the net, you get 24/7 access to a collaborative group of people who support you as you master your personal power and unlock your superpowers. If you're ready to use your superpowers to change the world, then join the Superpower Net today. Visit superpowerexperts.com/thenet to learn more.
We're back and you're listening to High Frequency Healing Show. Today we're talking with Diana Suarez about a conscious mind creates consciously. Could you imagine if you can make this statement real and true in your life? Like you really can stand up in your power and feel, think, what would you like to create in your life? Take inner actions outside, and be able to live that dream. That is possible. And let's talk more with Diana about all of this process. So, Diana, was there a burning bush moment that made your heart desire changing your path in life?
You know, Angelita, that talking about unconscious creations, since I was so sad in my life, the first person I dated was someone that was having a lot of health issues. He was really sick. He suffered from lupus. So it was really, really hard for me because I was too young. And I went to a lot of medical process with him for 4 years. Then finally he passed out. He died. That was really hard for me, but I stood up and I knew I was going to move on and make my life great. So I moved from city, and then I started a new relationship. And you know what? This new person got sick again.
Oh.
He got cancer. So it was shocking for me because I couldn't believe that I was repeating this story. That was a really hard one. And I didn't want him to die, and I didn't want myself to feel the way I was feeling. So I started asking myself, what is going on here? It doesn't make any sense that I'm repeating this harsh story. Why twice people that I loved was in a really difficult situation? So I was like, no, this is wrong. Something is going wrong with me. It has to do with me, and it's not outside. That's the first time I realized. And then when I realized that it was my problem and it was not outside, I started looking in a lot of techniques and books and videos for an answer. And that changed my life forever, because that made me start realizing faster and start to understand that everything was inside me and not outside. And if I wanted to change something in my life, I had to work with me. Was the only way. So that changed it forever, the way of my life was. And after that, a lot of things happened, like changing job, changing the couple again, because I just wanted to be happy. And I knew, finally, I found out that it was inside me, the answer. So it was really hard, but fun at the end.
And I loved what you just said, and I would like to repeat exactly what you said, because this is very important. I realized that the problem was me, and it's not from a point of complaining or judging or pointing out it's because of me. It's more from love and compassion, realizing that if I was able to create that, I'm also able to create the opposite. So realizing that the problem is in me, and there are answers, options, techniques that I can look for out there to be able to implement them in me by myself, to be able to move on and create something else. And I really would like to address that here. And I always say it when I have these interviews and my guests are talking something related to this. I really want to point this out for everybody who is listening. Please, the day that you stand up and you look at your life and you realize there is something inside me that is creating this in an unconscious way, and you just put all your energy and desire to find out what is that unconscious thing inside you that is creating this, and you change it, you have the key for success. But not the success of money and that everybody knows who you are. It's just the success inside. The success to be able to incarnate the divinity you are, the power you are. Thank you so much, Diana, for bringing this out.
And you know that there is a word and that I would like to add, and it's freedom. Because once you realize that everything is inside of you, that every answer is about you, and it has nothing to do with something external, you get a superpower, and it's freedom. I mean, you can free of yourself, but that's what happens at the end, because you start knowing yourself, knowing what you feel, what your beliefs are, and then you can start changing it forever. And you don't have to repeat sad stories over and over, like it happens often in people's lives. So
thank you so much, Diana. And you may be asking, but this is high frequency healing show. What is all of this related to healing? And it's a huge meaning about healing, because when we talk about healing, it is not just about your body. It's about to heal your energy, heal your thoughts, heal your emotions, to be able to create something else. So that leads me to the next question, Diana. Could you please explain to us what is the pineal gland?
Well, the pineal gland is something that everyone has inside their brains. It's right in the middle of the brain. It's a little gland that produces melatonin, which is an hormone that everyone has. It's always active until we are 7 or 9 years old. Around there, starts collapsing, and it starts getting a lot smaller and is not producing a lot of melatonin anymore. So it's a physical gland that everyone has that is in charge of all our biological cycles, like sleeping cycles, for example, help us to get up and sleep at night. It produces also antioxidants that neutralize free radicals, for example, and is the eternal youth hormone. So if you want to look younger, this is the answer to your prayers.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, I know. And it's for truth. You can look for the creator of or the method called Fresia Castro. She is Chilean. And you can see her in pictures from years ago and see her now. And you'll see that she's really much younger what she looks like.
Oh, wow.
Is,
okay.
Tell me.
No, go ahead.
This is also about our well-being, because it's like the responsible to make all the hormones in our body to work properly. So it's really a gland that has a lot of power and was never investigated before the spatial area. So it's really powerful in our body. But not only that, it's also about our openness to the big consciousness. Why? Because this is the door, and all the traditions and religions and a lot of ancestors talk about it, is the door to something else, to the invisible, they will say. So it's like the match between heaven and earth, is the door to see the unseen. So it's a really powerful gland.
I love that. It's the door to see the unseen. So Diana, I want everybody to know that I got activated in this method this past week, and I am gratefully, surprisingly, amazingly impressed, because I could feel like a burst of energy. And right now, it has been just a week. Right now, I cannot really explain with my words how I feel, but I know there is something else. And I want you, all my listeners, to know that we had this interview for March 1st. I needed like 10 more minutes, and Diana said, no, Angelita, I can't do it 10 minutes later because I have another commitment. So I wouldn't like just to be rushing. Let's do it later. I said, okay, that's fine. We will going to meet in Bogota because both of us are in the same mastermind group. And I was thinking last night, wow, I just love how the universe works in our favor, because I think it's way better to have this interview now with you, Diana, that I already experienced this activation, and I already went through this process before talking to you. So I'm so happy, so glad, and I just bow my body and say to the world and the universe, thank you for allowing this to happen right now in this moment.
You know that it's really common that people try to go to the workshop for a lot of times, and usually they don't get to it because the resistance in the human. I am trying to change my mind and the way I feel, and people is invited over and over, and they just don't go until they are ready for it. So with pineal gland, it's very common that it's happen. I mean, things get around, and they get just fluid in the time that is perfect for each person. So that's why the interview changed of date, because you need to experience the process to understand it. I mean, I can tell you a lot of things about it, but you wouldn't understand until you pass through it, because this is about experiencing.
Exactly. So now that I know better what I'm talking about, Diana, what is the pineal gland method? Because let me tell you and tell the listeners that I have done a lot of work with my pineal gland. I do it through meditation. I have a meditation that I got from somebody else that is super famous. I'm not going to bring that name out now. But I've been working with that before. But when I was there in the course, I remember, because it wasn't Diana who did the activation, and I would like at some point to have an opportunity to be in one of your classes and courses, but was somebody else. And she said there is a difference between activate and realize that the gland is there. So I would like you, Diana, to explain what is this method and a little bit about the process of the activation of the gland, please.
Great. Well, actually, the method is called Cyclopeia method, and not the activation itself is called Cyclopeia method of activation of internal activation of the pineal gland, And the idea with this is that it's a huge difference between this method and another type of experiences, because we always explain in our workshop that the pineal gland can be stimulated by external sources. I mean, you can listen to music, to watch a symbol for hours, and the pineal will light on, like spontaneously, but it doesn't mean that we'll stay that way. In this method, we teach you to do it innerly and by yourself with a creative order that is permanent. It won't turn off again, to say it somehow. So the difference between this and using external things, it is that when you're using something external, you will need it forever, and it will last as long as the external object is like stimulating the gland. But when you learn it through this method, is an inner decision that you make, and that it will last forever. So it's a huge difference. And this method is looking to help you to understand the way you're creating your life. Some people use the YouTube, that unfortunately someone put up the video of the activation from Fresia in YouTube, and some people use it. The thing is that you have like a magic wand and you have no manual. So it's important that you attend to the workshop, because there we explained the creative process, how to use the pineal gland activation. And that's a huge difference of only listening to the audio and practicing the exercise by yourself, and going to the workshop and learn how to use that wand. So it's very, very different. And then in the workshop, you will experience very practical exercises that will lend you to understand yourself. And that's the thing I love the most about this method, because I will help you to understand what your feelings are, what your beliefs are, what your visualization about the life you want is, because sometimes we say we want a different life, but we don't know what we want. And then how to make coherent actions with those that is inside you, those feelings or those beliefs. And then you can really start creating the life you want. There is a huge point that I want to specify here, and is that this will give you freedom again, because you will not depend on anyone else or anything else. with this method, you learn to go in yourself and to fix, to say it some way, to fix what is producing the results you are getting in your life in any aspect: money, relationships, health, or whatever you want to change as a result outside of you.
Diana, there is something that I really value and I respect a lot about this method, because as you said it before, it is not just about the activation, but it's also about how to make this method and this new energy that comes through you and is produced by you, but you just need like to open it, to say it in a certain way, to be able to enjoy and use that energy to create. And that was something that I was thinking, this is really valuable, because as you said it, it's not about me asking somebody else to help me create. It's me having this, being aware of the potential of this gland after having the activation, who's going to use this energy to focus in what I want and have a specific methods and techniques that I can use daily to be able to use that energy of creation that we have. And that's what really called my attention and I really value, because part of my mission in this world is tell people, hey, do not look for the keys of your house out there. Look for them inside. They are right there. And this method really goes along with that, with my purpose. Go inside and work in yourself. Use your own sources to be able to create.
That's true. And the other thing that I love about it is that for the first time I found in one method that science and spirituality are together. They are not apart. Heaven and earth are together. They are not apart. So you bring heaven to earth and you create from there. You are not alone. You're not a human by yourself. And you are not a divinity by yourself. You need both. And once you can put them to work together, life is just magic.
Yes, amen. I love that. So how do you help people to create consciously? And I'm not asking you in any mean to tell us the method and the process and the techniques. You need to contact Diana, and hopefully I'm going to have Diana in Phoenix soon, because I would love to have her in Phoenix to guide one of these courses. I would love to that. I would love to do that, and I'm putting that out in the universe. But how do you help people to create consciously through this method? Something that you can really share with us.
Well, you know that some instructors doesn't teach this in the method, but since I was transpersonal before Pineal, I just tell the first thing you have to do if you want to start creating your life in a conscious way is to look inside. To learn to look inside. We don't know how to do that. And every time I ask in a workshop, hey, how do you feel? People don't know what to answer. So the first question that everyone can answer right now about a topic they don't know why it's not going out the way they want is, how do I feel about it? And you will know that you are worried or angry or sad about this topic. And that's the beginning of the process. If you know how you feel, you will know what are you creating. So that's the first question I will always ask. How are you feeling? And the answer will be something in what we call low frequency, like a very heavy feeling, and then you know that is the beginning or the cause of the creation you're making.
I love that.
It's a simple question that nobody asks. Always they ask you, what do you think? And thinking is not the key. Thinking is the second step. You need to know what are you feeling.
Yes, and that's the key for everything we do, and especially if you really would like to heal in any level, the first question is about your emotions. That's the key. So, Diana, could we heal through this method?
Healing in all aspects of your life, as you said before, Angelita, is just about getting the life I want in health, like physical health, but money, relationships, love, the house I want, because healing is always about putting energy to work for you, to be aligned with what you want in your heart and putting out in the world. Mm-hmm. So yes, you can. We have amazing experience with this. It's actually a power that all human has, and is about regeneration. You can regenerate an organ, for example. I know a person from Argentina. She is lovely, and she was born with one kidney. And when she got into this method, she started to put it in practice, and now she has two. And of course, the physicians cannot understand. All the doctors are like, no, this is not possible. Of course, they're not going to believe it, because this is a work in the invisible. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of cases like that, because we are like salamandras. We can regenerate organs, even if it sounds kind of science fiction, but it's like that. We have the power in us.
Diana, you just shared with us that experience about how to heal your physical body. Have you been witness or guide any other process through your practice, helping people to heal in another area, not just the physical area, through this method?
The thing with this method is that all the areas of your life will put together in a coherent and harmonic way. And that's not a choice. I mean, if you start on this method, everything in your life will change. It's not like I am going to get money, but I am going to be sick, or like I'm going to be healthy, but I am going to be alone. Everything will harmonize somehow. So there is someone I really love. She worked with me in a multinational company, and her son tried to suicide. He was 13 years old. And she came to me and said, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing wrong, because my life, I work a lot, I give him all, but he's not happy with this life and he wants to die. And I don't know what else to do. And he was looking at him as the problem. And I told her, you know what? The problem is you. You're the mother, and you're the one who's teaching, and you're not doing inner work for you. You're not happy, you're not enjoying your job, you're not healthy, you're working too much and not paying attention to him. So we need to go inside of you. So she started the process, and she took the workshop, and we started to create the new life, because we knew what she had and she didn't like about it, but she didn't know what she wanted. So, okay, let's start creating a new life. And we started the process with her. She was alone. She was divorced for a couple of years already. And she worked from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. all days and weekends. And we started to draw, okay, what's your ideal life? How would you think you can be happier? How can you think you can be a best version of yourself, and then teach your kid that? And she started doing it really, really determined. And the result now, if you talk to her, she is the happiest person on earth. She changed her job. She found the perfect job she wanted. She created, she made the list, and she put the feeling, and she went to the creative process, and she got the job. Now she's dating someone for a year already, really happy, a very lovely person. And her son now changed his school, because the school was part of the problem. He changed the school, and now he's about to graduate from school, and really, really happy. He took the workshop with her. So this for young people makes a lot of sense. They already knew this information until 7-8 years. They start forgetting, as all of us. And then when he took the workshop, he understood the creative process he was making, and they together created the new life. So it was a really magical example of that. You can save your life by changing your focus, by changing your attention, not to what is going wrong, but to what you want to create.
I love that. So Diana, could you please share with us 2 steps or 2 tips for anyone to start this conscious creation that it's also a healing process?
Of course, it's simple. Once something goes wrong, you don't put the attention in it or in the person or in the situation. You go inside of you. How do you do it? Ask questions. Someone yells at me and I get mad. I don't yell back. I just look inside and ask myself, why am I mad? Why do I feel sad? Why do I feel upset? So you go back inside of you every time that something bothers you. Mm-hmm. Because if you keep arguing with the things outside, you won't go anywhere. So it's about asking yourself, why am I reacting like this? Why do I feel like this? So the first thing always is asking yourself and stop looking outside of you, because you cannot change people, you cannot change situation unless you change first. Mm-hmm. And the key to everything is, what do I feel and what do I believe? So if you have this situation, for example, I have no money and money is not enough at the end of the month, or if this relationship is not working and I'm frustrated and I feel bad, I have to ask myself, what do I feel about relationships? What do I feel about money? And then what do I believe? For example, I believe money is hard to get, or relationships are always bad ending. So that's the belief I'm putting into my creation, and that's the feeling I'm putting into my creation. So the key to change any situation is to ask yourself, what is going on with me in this situation or in this relation with the other that is bothering me? It's never to look outside.
Diana, thank you for this, because they are 2 easy tips. Every person got to the point where you are in a situation you wouldn't like to be. And if you just do those 2 things, you don't need anything extra. You just need your body. You just need to be present and ask yourself those questions, and then ask about your feelings and beliefs about X or Y. Easy peasy. So please, Diana, let's remind the listeners where they can go to find out more about you.
I am in Instagram, Facebook, on my webpage, Instagram and Facebook. I am like Diani C. Suarez. And in my webpage is dianaCSuarez.com. There you can find me.
Okay. Are you planning to have some workshops or, those classes that you have in United States soon? Or where are you having those events in Latin America? Where are you going to be, Diana? Let us know, because I know our listeners would love to be in one of those workshops.
As part of my life that I wanted to live and my dream life, I decided that I was going to travel. I have no physical house. So I travel around the world having this workshop and talking to people and teaching them how to be happier, how to create. So I will be traveling for this year. I will be in Argentina, Chile, here in Colombia, of course. And the second semester will be about US and Europe.
Woohoo!
So
I
will be around.
Yes, so please go friend Diana in Instagram, in Facebook, get into her website so you can have the updates about where this amazing Colombian woman is going to be spreading her magic and her superpowers. Diana, thank you so much for sharing your healing superpower with us today.
Thanks to you for giving me this opportunity. It's really, really an honor. I know how you are, how you work. So I'm really proud to be part of this, because I know you're doing a great task with people.
And thank you, all of you, for joining us. I am AngelaMaría. Conscious creation. Change actions, shift energy to live heaven down here on earth. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and take the superpower quiz today.